We've got a blinker one more there. Thanks guys, fantastic.
Come in, near. Come close. Are we ready? Where is it? We ready? You ready? Okay.
Drink everything fine.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this evening to meet Antonio, one of my idols in the TV and the kitchen. As Conga, we're very proud to have him associated with Cirio, another icon of the Italian cuisine. So we have two, I won't say very old, but two very iconic symbols of the Italian cuisine. Cirio is about 100 and just over 100 years old, and it's been around. You know, I think Antonio remembers it as a child.
Yeah, I'm slightly
I certainly do.
Slightly younger.
And we'd like to welcome everyone, and we'd like to listen to some of the wisdom that Antonio might impart in us. And at the end of the evening, there's a little bag for you to take on and to try the brand that is Cirio and the tomatoes and the best brand of tomatoes from Italy. So welcome everyone. Welcome Antonio.
Thank you very
welcome
much.
to Australia.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And welcome you all. So being in England, I have to say, my lord, ladies and gentlemen. It's a really pleasure to be here and to be connected to Cirio. I am not a mercenary because I never done anything of putting my face or whatsoever to a product. But this one felt in my favor because I remember as a small child, I was probably 5 or 7, that my mother already used Cirio in the same form, and lifelong I tried to taste various different other type of tin tomatoes, and I never find the equal. And now, as I've been offered to do this, I said, okay, I do it because I believe in the product. And it's lovely to believe in something that you do, because usually most of the people, they do it just for money, okay, get in and so on. No, I believe because one product like this should be in the kitchen of everybody, and produces for certain wonderful sauces. And I tell you only one thing, that 14,000, how many farmers? 14,000? 500?
Yeah.
They are the farmers that they work for Cirio. And I imagine that some of them, they're still the old-fashioned one, that when comes the time of the ripening of the tomato, they go in the field, they take a piece of bread, and they rub it with a little bit of garlic. Then they take a little bit of oil. They take this one here with all, not to show the brand, and a little bit good olive oil. And then they take a tomato and they literally squash it like this on top. And they try it on the field as it is, like this. And if they have a little bit of basil on the side, they put it on. Just a little bit of salt. And this is a fantastic snack that everybody of you can do. With the ripe tomatoes, already taste it, is fine. Now, I developed myself, because I live in England and sometimes I like Marmite. Yes, sometimes. I discovered that if you do this, you rub the bread and you put just a little bit of olive oil on top and just a little bit of salt. Then you take a little bit of the sort of concentrate of tomatoes. Aha! You achieve more or less the same as with the tomato, It's delightful, and you have a wonderful snack. This I don't think is difficult to do, huh? But try, because when you are at home, you don't have anything, you have a tube of something like that in the corner, you can do it. It's very, very good. The oil, the garlic, good bread, and this. So these are my little offering for you. And today I decided to do 3 recipes. One, you will taste it, because it's been cooked by a lovely company, yes? They cooked it. Yep. And I chose a recipe that is very fun indeed. Years ago I did a film in Italy, a series, Italian series about Italy, and I went to Giugiaro. Do you know the name of Giugiaro? It's a sort of car stylist, one of the biggest car stylists. And he was asked by Boiello to make a pasta shape which was called marille. It was a big tube of pasta ripped in the inside, and then with a wing, in order to collect a lot of sauce, to have a wonderful morsel, very juicy and nice. And the marille, he cooked it for me in his office, and he cooked it with a vodka sauce and salmon. I said, my goodness, Italy doesn't use salmon, yes, but doesn't use cream above all. And when I see cream, I always, no, cream. The worst is spaghetti carbonara with cream. I could kill body. I could kill anybody with. In fact, if you want a tip for doing the carbonara, not having sort of frittata, when you sort of quail the egg with the parmesan, you add just a little bit of water, or eventually just a drop of milk. So it makes the egg a little bit more runny and doesn't stick, just like an omelette on the pasta. So this is a little tip on the side. But now we have a wonderful chef here called Jamie. Can you imagine, Jamie? And Jamie will help me. Is 1 Michelin star?
Yeah.
Yes, good. Incidentally, I was saying that in Italy we have at least 3 million Michelin star chefs, and they're all the housewives. So we have now the base of this sauce here, which is onion, a little bit of oil, good olive oil, and onion. The base, the beginning of Italian sauces, the soffritto, so-called soffritto, it's always very extremely easy, because either based on onion or garlic, sometimes both, but very often just a little bit of onion, which is also the base of the second sauce. And we wait now. Is the maximum gas here? A little bit more, yes. And we put a little bit of chopped onion in it. That's extremely easy. Yeah. So what we have to achieve here is to fry a little bit the onion. Then, if you have questions between, just ask me. Huh? I'm here for that purpose. Yes, a lot of fire. A little bit of time always elapses, obviously. I can tell jokes. This chap here, you know him probably. He tell me the filthiest joke on
Oh, come on.
but I could give him one or two myself.
Yeah, not some, a lot.
So instead to wait for the end, because he has to cook something here, I tell it now. This is a joke that I always tell around the Christmas time, because there is the son of a mafia boss which would like to have a bicycle from Father Christmas. And in Italy, it's not Father Christmas bringing the present, but baby Jesus. And the father said, look, write to baby Jesus, promise to be a good boy, perhaps he will have a bicycle. Dear baby Jesus, I promise to be a good boy for 1 month if you send me a bicycle. He's not happy with that. Can I have a Cheerio? And so the sauce gets further with after frying of the onion with the crushed tomato. Look at this fine, wonderful. And we cook it now for some time, not too long. So this tomato is ripe when it's been put in the tin. This is the most precious thing, because otherwise you add sugar because it's sour and so on and so on. So another little bit, so the son then decided, okay, write another letter, dear baby Jesus, I promise to be a good boy for 1 week if you send me Bible. He's not happy with that neither. On the table he has a statue of the Madonna. He takes the Madonna, he put in a drawer, and he writes a new letter. He says, dear baby Jesus, if you want to see your mother again, bring me a letter. So you let it cook a little bit until the tomato, which is not very watery, fortunately, sort of becomes a little bit more together. But then we have, where is it? That was the tomato paste. To reinforce a little bit the taste of any sauce, you put just a little bit of tomato paste inside. Whereby, I must say that Sicily has something very, very special. It's called, what is it called? It is 6 times concentrated tomato. This is probably twice double concentrate. The Sicilian one is just almost black because they extracted all the water and it's really extremely intense. Come si chiama? No? No? Dialetto. No. No, ha un altro titolo. No, there's another one.
Which dialect? Palermo?
That's all. Lovely. Then we put a bit of salt, and be careful with the salt because when you cook pasta, you add a little bit of salt to the water, which is important. Otherwise, the pasta becomes completely tasteless. And the sauce is ready here. Now, how we go on with the rest is this one. Can you chiffonade, use a sort of wonderful French sort of smoked salmon? Look. There's a chiffonade of smoked salmon. The pasta, where's the pasta? A little bit of the pasta. So this incidentally is what you will taste as well. Yes. The vodka. Na zdrowie.
Yeah, sweet.
The cream. Yes. La crema. Not too fine. That's fine. So, and now we add a little bit of vodka.
Now you're talking.
And a little bit of cream. This is really completely different than Italian usances because the cream, as far as I know, it comes only to Emilia-Romagna dish, which was the tortellini alla crema. Otherwise, it doesn't come very often. And the sauce is ready. And when I had the sauce in his office, he prepared the big designer of car. Can you imagine that? And did it with those ingredients. Now I have to taste for the salt. Just a little touch. It's funny, the sauce is already a little bit sweetish without putting any salt, any sugar whatsoever. ripe tomatoes, and a bit of pepper. So, a bit of pasta. So you shouldn't try from one plate, obviously. You will have and I was buff. Probably it's possible to see the film by the BBC some few years ago, probably 15 years ago. And I've done it in his office, where his style is for different cars, different make of car. And there is a sort of box for Fiat, box for another company. Nobody is allowed to go into the other because and the variation is only minimal from car to car. It's unbelievable. But he has done something. Pasta.
Okay,
Done?
nearly.
Nearly.
Start next one.
Yeah. Anyway, so the sauce is done here. I want to show now the sauce Genovese in alternative to that. These are basic, very simple sauces that anybody can do. The Genovese is eaten in Napoli, funnily enough, and this is because the Genovese, they run over Napoli and they left various recipes, and the Neapolitan, they like it. It's based on a lot of onions, which we will fry very gently because, is it on? Yeah. A little bit more. Yeah, it's fine. Olive oil as usual. Lovely color, my goodness. This is important, eh? Yeah, we can use this one. Use this one. Let's see, this one was bigger. You see, this is another one when you're cooking in the kitchen. You have to regulate the fire according to what you want to achieve. Here I want to achieve the frying of these onions relatively quickly. And then let them also become soft, because this is the essential of this. Quite a lot of onion. Is that one stronger? Hey? Brucia? Ah. Yeah, it takes a while, yeah. This is turn it there. That one, yeah. So that's very, very simple, all those sauces. In fact, with a good old tomatoes, you can do hundreds of sauces. It comes a little bit everywhere as acidity, and you can prepare it based on meat, on fish, on vegetables. Especially with the fish, it's very nice. There are some people that they like vongole and cozze, sort of mussel. They like it white, so they no sauce, no tomato sauce there. Some other one they like it red, and there's the. So now this has to cook and become very, very soft, the onion, and the big trick is just that, the tomato is nothing else.
Antonio,
Yes.
I just wanted to ask a question, because I've seen in different times when people are cooking pastas and sauce,
Yes.
when they go to serve it, some people will mix the sauce into the pasta,
Yes.
then
That is
add it on top,
very good question.
or is it, what's
I
the
usually
preference?
do the sauce, boil the pasta. I don't even sort of drain it. I take it direct from the water and I put in the sauce.
Okay.
And then it has to be flavored more,
Yes.
because you saute it. And I know that sometimes advertisement, you see a lovely plate of pasta in the center.
Yes.
It is not very good because you have to practically
It's dry.
do
It's
it
always dry
yourself.
on the outside.
And sometimes you don't coat every single thing like this. But if you do it the other way around, you take the pasta into the sauce and then you saute the pan, yes, that's better.
Right.
Lovely sort of a good smell. Didn't they cook the pasta before? Because I need I need just a little bit, you know, for this sauce here. So, and then we have another sauce which can be prepared already. It's already going on here. And it's based on garlic, and this is a Napoletana sauce, which is garlic and tomato, and in that case a little bit of basil. And if somebody really push it, a little bit of chili. Of course. The lady from Sardinia said, of course. I told her a story. The Italian perhaps they may understand it. The little boy goes to the pharmacy and say, che ce l'ha un pannolone? Dice, ma per chi è? Per mio nonno. Ma cos'è? Incontinente? Dice, no, è in Sardegna ma si piscia addosso ugualmente. The Italian they will understand it. Because in Sardinia, for Italy, they say continente. And when you say this for my grandpa, what is it? Incontinent? No, it's Yes, now, can we have another tin of the wonderful stuff? No, not that. This one. So, Cilio has naturally quite a few different types of tomato. This one is the crushed tomatoes. It's very good without seeds, and it is fantastic. I saw it. I saw how lorries and lorries of it was in summer, loaded with tomato. They are coming to the factory. There is a sort of tube that goes into the center and soaked quite a lot of the tomatoes, and they pushed it into a sort of sorting chamber. And there they will be sorted to see what the percentage is already very ripe and what not. And the not very ripe, they were sort of discarded, and the very ripe, they were channeled into a water canal to further sort of processing. And only what is really very ripe, it comes peeled into the can. So that's why I believe in that product, because it's really very good. You will taste it as well now. A little bit less.
Antonio,
Yes.
how much processing is done on the tomatoes before they can?
No, nothing.
Think about it.
Nothing.
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 Are they not blanched
It
or-
comes, no, it comes into a tube of very high temperature which peels them. And without heating the actual tomato to ruin the tomato itself, it's shot away from the peel in another room. And that will be then sort of put into tin or chopped into little chunks like this, or as bits and pieces they come to passata. The passata is sort of tomato which is being centrifuged.
Yeah.
But then they do so incredible thing with the skin as well. They do a sort of powder which is used for making food or another sort. But the actual tomato that comes into the tin is really perfect. The pasta?
Yes, we're coming up to bowls of pasta soon. We've run to try with your sauce, but did you want everyone to
No, I
taste
want
the
it-
sauces?
Yeah, no,
They're gonna
yes.
taste- yeah.
But I wanted just to show
With some
what is
pasta.
right.